Good morning. So this video is going to be about decluttering your life. It starts in decluttering your mind and decluttering your life, decluttering your surroundings. What I have known to be true is that your outside circumstances are a direct reflection of what is going on inside. So if you have clutter that all around you, it means that you have clutter within your mind. And it's vice versa also. If you have clutter around you, it makes clutter in your mind. If you have clutter in your mind, it makes clutter around you. And we know that there are many different, that we can, for instance, right? If we're happy, we smile. If we smile, we're happy. So whatever our outside influences our inside, just like our inside influences our outside. So there are steps that we can take in the physical world to help declutter. When we have a lot of outside things that we have to take responsibility for, a lot of things around our home or piles of clothes. I folded all the clothes this morning. I did all the dishes this morning. When we have a lot of clutter around us, we also feel like we're drowning in that clutter. It feels like we don't know what to do because there's just so much stimulation. So the more that we can quiet our outside surroundings, the more that we can quiet and our inside, our minds. And something that I've noticed lately is that I've had quite a bit accumulating around me in my home, and it's more to be responsible for. I don't need all of that. You can tell by dishes, let's say. I think that I have too many dishes because every day there's a massive pile of dishes. Something that I learned when I came back to Israel around 11 years ago. I came back with a 40-foot container. When I was living in the States, I used to love to go and find finds at the secondhand stores, and I accumulated so much antiques and knickknacks, and I love dishes and special glasses, and I had this set and that set. And when I got back to Israel, I went and visited my sister, and she had this little tiny kitchen, and in her kitchen she had like 4 plates, 4 bowls, a few cups, a little bit of silverware, and that was all that she had. And she never had a pile of dishes in her sink. And I asked her about it. I said, "This is all the dishes that you have?" And she said, "Yeah, I don't need any more than that. And if I do, then we manage. How many people sit down and eat at once?" And now she has a family, so she's accumulated quite a bit more. But that really was like shocking to me because at that time I had come back from the States and I still had a business running in the States. And I rented this massive house, like 7-bedroom house, and it had 2 sinks. And it always seemed, and I had 4 kids at home, and it always seemed like my sinks were just piled with the dishes because you use a dish, you put it in the sink, you take out another dish, you use a dish, you put it in the sink, and there were just piles, there was endless amounts of clean dishes, so there were endless amounts of dirty dishes. And the more that you have in your external world to be responsible for, the more it holds you down and the more it clutters your mind. So part of decluttering your mind is decluttering your surroundings, getting rid of things that you don't need, and getting rid of things that you don't use, even if they're good. And then everything that is in your life is there by purpose, is there because you chose for it to be there. And so part of what I am starting to do in the next few days and immediately now is decluttering my home. I am going to begin in the kitchen and I'm moving on to the clothes. There's just too many clothes. At home now, it's just me and my 2 younger sons. And I've noticed that there's just endless amounts of laundry. There's always piles of laundry. Another thing that I want to do, and I will do a separate video about it, is going through my clothes and removing all of the clothes that have any kind of and leaving clothes that are made of natural material. So all cotton, wool, viscose, linen, leaving all of the clothes that are made out of natural materials, and all of the rest getting rid of. I watched a video, and I kind of did a little bit of learning on the subject, that polyester, like wearing plastic clothes, it doesn't allow, plastic is not a conductor. It doesn't conduct electricity. And we are electric beings. We have this vibration, we have this pulsation that is coming out of us that we are sharing with the world. And we are also receiving vibrations. And when you wear plastic on which is all of polyester and things like that, when we wear plastic clothes, it puts a barrier between us and nature, between us and other people. We can't pick up on their vibration, and our vibration is not fully received or fully put out into the world. So it's kind of like putting a barrier. And not only that, it's toxic. So we're wearing clothes that are toxic to us. And you can see it in places that the states, for instance, ship off tons of clothes to, that are used to, I've seen videos on it. I don't remember exactly where I saw it, but I think it's in African countries where they ship off piles and piles of clothes to get tax deductions. And then the clothes, first of all, there's just too much, in third world countries, they don't have closets full of clothes. They have what they need. And so there's just piles. I saw this picture of just a mountain of clothes that are just going to waste, and they're full of polyester and plastic, so they're not disintegrating, and they're not good for the atmosphere. I saw this one picture of this massive pile of clothes, and all around the pile of clothes, all of the plant life was dead. It was like toxic into the ground. And we're putting these clothes on our bodies, where we are wearing toxic clothes that have toxins in them. We eat from plastic. I don't. I've pretty much removed most of the plastic. I still use plastic containers to store some things, but typically for eating warm, hot food, I use glass and ceramics and things like that, metal. And I've gotten a little bit off subject because this is about purifying and decluttering your life. And when you declutter your surroundings, then you have more control over your focus and over what you allow into your space, into your mind space, into your home space. When you have tons of clutter, tons of clothes and piled up things, it takes from your life energy. It's more things that you have to be responsible for, more things that you have to take care of, more things in your life that are giving you stimulation and taking your attention away from where you can put it. And when you have so much clutter, it's more than you need. So your life isn't so concise. It's not, you have things that have just dropped into your life. So they're not there with purpose, and they're not there with intention. And so it's like you have a sloppy life, right? Not everything that is in your space is stuff that you actually chose to be there. It's far less intentional. Whereas when you declutter, every single thing that you have in your life is there with purpose and on purpose and of choice and with intention and has purpose and meaning. So also when you free up your space and get rid of things, so you go minimalistic, which I'm going back further into minimalistic. I actually have come from a home that has issues of hoarding. I have family members, aunts, uncles, siblings that have issues with hoarding. Um, I have little hoarding traits that I've come so far in the last years. But when I came back from the States with that 40-foot container, it was hoarding it was hoarding. Uh, it was hoarding nice things and antiques and all sorts of knickknacks and all sorts of things that I didn't need, but that I liked. And but it's still things that you don't need. When you have too many nice things, it gets lost in the clutter, right? When you have so many nice things that you have no space to put them, you don't enjoy them anymore, and they're not special. They don't spark that uniqueness. So in being like one centerpiece in an empty space, let's say. Another part of this is is doing things with part of the decluttering your mind is when you don't have all those distractions because of all the stuff that you have in your life, all of the stuff that you have in your mind. Also, it's the same thing, right? If you declutter your surroundings, it will automatically, because it's an energy, it's a decluttering, it's a cleansing, purifying energy. That is a flow. It's an energy flow. So it will affect also your mind. You will start seeing that you are able to, through decluttering your surroundings, you are also decluttering your mind from things, from distractions that don't need to be there, things that you have in your mind that you're always holding on to that don't need to be there. Plus, when your outsides are cluttered, you're always like, there's so many things, places that you have to put yourself. When you have a clutter in your surroundings, your mind isn't free to just to be. You're constantly overstimulated. Oh, you see this, you have to take care of this, and you have to take care of that, and you have to take care of that. It makes your mind start going into like knots, and then you can't see because there's so much that you have to do and so many things that you have to take care of that you don't even know where to put yourself or where to start. And so this is leading us into the second point of decluttering. Another point of decluttering your mind is doing one thing at a time. We only have, during this physical life, we have one timeline. So our lifetime, our energy and our time and our space and whatever we are playing with, matter, right? Decluttering matter. We're decluttering our space from matter. We're decluttering our time from things that are unimportant. So because our time is of utmost importance, we have this one timeline. So when we declutter our mind, we can put our attention, our energy, our attention on the timeline to the most important things, the things that give us most, that are most of most importance, that will give us the most, what is the word I'm looking for? It's like the most important, or it give us the most, I'm going to pause this for a second because I keep on seeing that I keep on losing the line, and I want to connect back to I want to connect back to the point completely before I continue. So give me a sec. Okay, so my daughter called and I got back. So decluttering your mind, also part of that is being able to concentrate on one thing at a time, because when we have our mind is cluttered with so many different things that we have to do, a lot of times, or so many different projects that we're working on, or so many different ideas, a lot of times there's so much there's so much clutter that you don't even know where to start, and then you don't do anything. And so part of decluttering is understanding that we have this one timeline that we're working with, and wherever we put our energy is where our life light goes to. And our time and our energy are both precious. Both of those things are things that you cannot get back. So it's very important that your energy that is spent and your time that is spent in places that give you added value to your life. Another part of this is just doing one thing at a time, one thing at a time. From start, take it all the way to finish. So everything else, you have to be able to, if something comes in and it's urgent, fine, do it. But for the most part, if you're doing something and it's worth doing, then put the time and effort into it to do it fully and right from beginning to completion, and then that will be off your plate. And it feels so good to get things off your plate when you take things and you do them from start to finish and they're off your plate. It frees your mind. It frees that clutter. So I personally am decluttering my surroundings. I've noticed that there's too much accumulation. I am decluttering my surroundings and decluttering my mind and using, this is a practical way. When you declutter your surroundings, it affects your inner being. So sending you guys so much love. Thank you for watching. Okay, so this is the practical work. This is actually going through and just, starting with a closet, starting with things that I really don't need. And first of all, anything that doesn't have a lid. So we certainly don't need anything that doesn't have a lid. So let's say this, and certainly don't need lids that don't have containers, that's for sure. So here's one. And I'm just starting to get rid of things that we don't need. We'll check if that has a lid. Here's 2 containers. They have lids. See, it's very practical work. So I'm going to pause this. I'm going to continue. I'm going to finish going through this closet, and I'll come back and show you what it looks like when it's done. Okay, so here we go. Everything that's in here now has a lid. These are some lids for jars and different cups and things, and just some extras that I have here, so I'm keeping them. But all of the plastic containers have lids. I went through the plates, I got rid of some stuff, and here is everything that is going to the garbage. So I managed to get rid of quite a bit, and it feels good to have this area organized and clean. So practical decluttering, practical.